Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mona Lisa. And this is a special edition because I know y'all wondering, like, what are you doing now? I'm always doing something, but check it out. We are definitely launching the Eve Jean podcast right now, and I couldn't do it. I could not do it without my co-host and drum roll. My co-host, okay, hosting the Eve Jean with me, my daughter, the viral superstar, thousands and millions of subscribers, all these people, Miss Real Kaya. Hi!
Hello.
Welcome to the Real Kaya show. No, that's why it's your show for real.
The viral. I mean, my Instagram name is starring Real Kaya because I'm just in my own movie. You know, like I'm waking up every day. It's a different episode.
I feel like it's an episode every day with us, right?
Yeah.
That's why we had to do this podcast.
Yeah, I'm literally just going down to the deeper layers of who we truly are and just coming into our remembrance of what it means to be alive, you know?
Yeah.
Existing here. And I'm happy that we are doing this and we in this space to do it because it's been a long time coming with what you've experienced, so much of being on this planet in your time.
In my time and your...
In my time, like this is two different generations and like the same lineage and the same bloodline just changing. And
no, this is not the red table, y'all.
It's not.
No, we definitely going all the way deep, conscious, just all the way deep. And with this is definitely an episode where we're definitely going to be getting more into like the conscious world, but really, really explaining what the Eve Jean is. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And by it being a Wednesday, it's Awakened Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is...
Remember you used to do that.
You remember that?
Yeah. When I was a kid, y'all, my mom used to have this segment where it would be called Awakened Wednesday. She would have these different people from different religions or ways of life, and they would come in and talk about, like, you know, their perspective and debate about things. And, like, now that it's crazy because we're doing this right now, we're talking about something that's deeper below the surface of the earth, deeper below the surface of our bodies and who we truly are and our mission here. So with you, because I'm like... You the one who, the first time I heard or the name, like you created a page called the Eve Jean.
Yeah.
And I want you to, in your words, what does that mean to you?
What does the Eve Jean mean to me?
Yes.
It's so deep. That's why I feel like this podcast, this series, it's going to take a couple episodes for us to really get into what it is. But I'm going to briefly kind of wheel you in a little bit because I know you've been watching me for a couple years. Like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going to do this or are you going to do that? It took me a minute to transform myself into who I really wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And for years, I've been doing research on the Eve Jean. So before I became Mona Lisa, which I changed my name, of course, everybody know me as Mo Lyric. So I'm Mo Lyric, this big star doing, you know, I threw shows. I did like 250 shows in St. Louis. I was on an open mic. Like, I became like the host of the year. And I knew I always had like the gift of talk, you know, the ministry. Growing up in church, like I grew up in church. So I was always either following somebody's church or hopping to this church or hopping to that church. And in the midst of this whole thing, I've always been on this search for who I am, what religion I belong to. My search to find God, you know, that's been my goal. So even with the relationships I've been in, with the different businesses I've started or whatever church I joined, whatever group of people I joined, I've always wanted to find out more about me. Mm-hmm. And then it got deeper from me just trying to maybe find more about me to I start digging a little deeper into like being a woman, a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when that happened, as I began to transform, I went through all this stuff, breakups, divorces, kids growing up, me losing my sense of who I am and trying to find myself all over again. As I transformed into Mona Lisa, the Eve Jean started off as like me getting ready to explain to everyone what the Eve Jean was. Like when I found out about us, when I found out about us being so potent, my bloodline being so potent, where it's the beginning of all bloodlines. And I started doing research on that. But as I was doing that, I was creating an album called The Eve Gene because I wanted to be a softer me. And it just went into more things. I became infatuated with finding out more information about the Eve Gene and what it really was. Yeah. So I transferred the page to the Eve Gene as I was getting ready to embark on telling everybody what I had discovered. And then it became something more from just an album to like a page. And then it's like, wait a minute, there's some history to this. And so I was like, one day I'm going to talk about it. But I was going through so much to where I was like, I'm transferring myself to Mona Lisa. I don't got time to be explaining to people what's going on with the Eve Gene, or maybe nobody would be interested into it. Yeah. But when I seen you blow up and you just constantly blowing up online, I knew that I was going to eventually have to talk about it. Yeah. And that's why we're here today, because I feel like faith brought us here so I can explain what it is. And then being that you're a scholar of information, you get to share that intimate moment with me, and then we get to share it with everybody else. So
because we have so many conversations, like, and it just like I be realizing that anybody would want to be a fly on the wall, hearing the stuff that we talking about when it comes down to the spiritual gifts, when it comes down to us like really moving and walking in a path of enlightenment and like our own power, and just holding a lot of power and holding a lot of codes and remembrance of what we truly are and what it means to actually be holding the Eve Gene and carrying that in your blood. And, like, I know there's a lot of people who went through an awakening in 2020, people who still, you know, but even before that, people who've been carrying these codes, this information, this surge of energy throughout their life that they could never understand. And, like, now it's coming to the surface, and that is the awakening. That's the prophecy. That's what the Eve Gene means to actually, well, to me, you know.
For you. I know, wait, let me ask you the question. You already know.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm so used to understanding, or just my experience with life and my time here, just me observing, like, the process of going to school, the process of like being, you know, what you would call in the Matrix, and just shifting your mind into what, and uplifting that veil of what you've always felt inside, but you could not, there was no representation of what it is. Because it's like, it's this hidden legacy, this hidden lineage, and this hidden knowledge of information and codes inside of you that is not being embraced in your outer world. So you come to this planet, you come down in this space, and you recognize, and you're seeing like your surroundings, and you're seeing the environment and the state of the planet and the way it is, and being what you would call, other people call like aliens, or like your power is so potent, and you're trying to protect yourself. So you cloak yourself and you become a shell of who you really are. And that's what my journey with myself like comes into, because I feel like my childhood, me all the way up until 18, I just became a shell, because I recognized that I'm not, the environment doesn't reflect who I am and the power that I know I hold. Because as a child, like, you was watching me meditate, I'm telling you, I want to open my chakras. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, I'm like, you know, where is God? Where is,
to find you like angels folded up like in the middle of the floor with like candles around you, and I was like, what's possessing my baby? What is going on? Why is she like this? All the rest of the kids running around.
I was playing outside. I was a quiet kid. I was sweet. I was open to happiness, joy, and love. But when it comes down to anything else, I was very silent, very shy, very internalized. Yeah. I sat mostly inside of myself my entire life. And then when it came down to me expressing like my thoughts, my conspiracy theories, my perception on life and energy, and, you know, like, that wasn't my environment. Us being from St. Louis, Missouri, like, that place and that, like, just that area
alone,
you know, being there, it's like you literally are in, it's like a dip.
It's definitely a dip. If you go check out the landmass, St. Louis is sitting like in a You know, it's almost like a vortex. That's why it's so hard to get up out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I go visit, it's hard for me to get back out. I'd be like, y'all trying to keep me here. Get me out.
So, like, me going to school and being in this environment where, like, a lot of people are lost, they're distorted, and they're only following what their environment is telling them. And I'm over here talking about, you know, the dinosaurs weren't killed by asteroids, dinosaurs were killed by aliens. And I'm over here like, I'm asking my history teacher, I'm like, okay, so why are you teaching me so much about slavery? What can you tell me about what happened before that? Can you tell me, like, I'm asking questions about human design and what's going on with the earth and why is the planet the way it is and why are we at this state of consciousness? It does, like, I'm talking on a way different level than my environment is. So I didn't have no space where I could relate or communicate to anybody about what was going on inside of me. And that led to me, like, you know, me being a shell inside of myself of what I truly, like, was holding in me.
Yeah.
I finally was able to open myself up and I started to speak and I created my TikTok.
When you open yourself up and you decided to speak, baby, you spoke.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know, like, I had all of this inside of me because I spent so long in just trying to survive. And so did you. You know, just listening to your childhood, listening to how you grew up and the environment that you were in, being in zombie land, basically what it, like, you, and just both my dad and you, like, both of y'all growing up in St. Louis, which is one of the most dangerous cities to live in.
Dangerous, ain't they?
Very, very dangerous. And nobody
at a light, they pulling up with 30-round clips on you.
Not a lot of people make it out.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people make it out. So being a part of holding these codes and the frequency of love and remembrance and, like, the real of who we truly are, where we come from, why we are the way we are, like, just holding all of the remembrance of what we are throughout all of that darkness, throughout all of that pressure, like, and coming out of that and not losing yourself, because a lot of people crack under pressure. And that's what it means for me with the Eve gene, because it's like you still holding this line. You still have these activations and these codes, no matter how much the world has beat up on you, no matter how much things have, like, the life has, like, tried to compress you and push you down.
Yeah.
You still
rise.
You know, you still rise. You still hold that. So, like, excuse me, y'all.
Watched it.
Yeah, you know, excuse me, like, y'all, I'm so used to, like, you know, having my notes, speaking, like, you know, just having my own way of recording. It's a different, it's a different thing for me. So, like, I want y'all to get to know me, but I also have things that I want to make sure that I say. And, like, this is my first time, like, speaking on a podcast, and I'm so glad that I'm doing this. But, you know, I just, like, when I got my little tablet out, I'm making sure that I'm covering the points that I want to cover that is really important for me in this podcast to listen to hear. Okay, so I want y'all to, like, understand what this means for both of us and just anybody who's listening out there. Like, today, and even just what this podcast means, diving deep into something that's been hidden from us from ages, like the truth of the origins of humanity, the primordial earth beings, and how it all connects to the stories and the things that we're seeing, the films that we're seeing right now. The biggest one I want to talk about is Avatar, and even the Bible, because that's where we're coming from with
about to get
the Eve
into
gene.
it.
If you've ever, so for those out there, if you ever wondered who we really are, if you've had this knowing on the inside of yourself that you just can't explain to nobody, and, like, the way your gifts, your intuition, everything just comes alive so much in your vibrant energy. You know, this is where I'm about to, like, go into my notes and everything that makes sense to me. You know, like, where we come from, why there's so much confusion around God and creation. This episode is for you, okay? I'm not going to say that I know everything. I'm not trying to tell you what to believe or who to believe or where to go. But, you know, this is just a conversation that might spark some type of, you know, understanding and translation of what's really going on inside internally and in your body and your genes that you can't explain, but you know it's there. Mm-hmm. It's like a hidden, forgotten, thing. Mm-hmm. So when I was talking about Avatar, and I was thinking about Pandora in Avatar, okay, and this is where the Eve gene comes in, because the being Awa, okay? Awa wasn't just a god that they worshipped. She was the planet. She lived in the trees. She lived in the animals, the people, the whole ecosystem. That's the same like as what I call the primordial woman, the Eve gene, the original ones who knew, who became the first.
Right.
The primordial earth beings.
Originals.
Yeah. So Awa, she was not a mythical lady. She was the original gene of Pandora itself. And that's what the Eve gene represents. That's what the first represent. All possible life forms that already existed. So every race, every being, every genotype on this planet all comes from that original primordial essence. So do you remember basically okay, now I'm getting my brain is kind of going into translating what's going on inside my head.
Are you looking for a softer way to say things?
Yeah, I always try to,
because we're not doing that on this podcast.
I want you
to be all the way open with everything you feeling. Just say it. And also let's put our disclaimer out there. This is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment.
Okay. Only. Look, we just going over stuff that we picked up. So if you don't like nothing we saying, no, we do like the comments. So comment below if you following what we're saying. Okay, so you said you were speaking about the Avatar.
Yeah, I was speaking about the Avatar. And okay, when you pay attention to the movie, when you pay attention to what, I don't know, for some reason, the movie, the Avatar, every time I watch it, I always get emotional. Mm-hmm. I get upset. It's like a strong, deep feeling.
Why do you feel like you feel that, though?
Because I feel like I get that way, and it activated so much in me because it reminds me of the gene in my body.
Right. The
codes in my body and what was forgotten.
Yeah.
Because when you pay attention to them, when you pay attention to them being so connected to Awa, them being so connected to their mother, mm-hmm. Awa lives in all of them.
Mm-hmm. And when you say Awa, what is Awa again?
The Eve. The Eve. The mother, the one earth.
That created Earth, or is it the mother of is it their mother, or is it just the energy?
Their mother. The energy it's everything. It's the whole planet. It's the celestial.
So it's a planet.
What it means to be on the celestial, because a lot of people say that, God created the humans. Okay, that's somebody else's story. Mm-hmm. Because the original, you come from your mother.
Right.
You come from your mother. And they're saying that this planet, it's said that this planet, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
We came from our mother. We came from this planet. Yeah. That's what it means to be the originals, the ones who actually came from the earth. And what happened in Avatar was that the Na'vi people who were connected, they had these gifts and these abilities to connect to the earth. Remember, they had everything. Everything was just set in stone. They had all the codes and the activations. And what happened? It was a bunch of scientists who came in, and they were messing with their DNA, and they made replicas, and they made clones, so they can inhabit the bodies of the Na'vi people,
right,
and then run around with them and procreate with them and try to, do all of that.
Do you think that's connected to what was done to women?
That's connected to what was done to the original Eve gene.
Mm-hmm. So you think, because when we talk about the Eve gene, you go look it up. It's a gene that's in every human, right?
Yeah.
right? Okay. And that's why we say the mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being with that being the avatar, them being able to go in and mess with the DNA and play scientist, you get what I'm saying? Do you think this has been done on all levels in every area when it comes to like humans? So I feel with me and how I feel how deep the Eve gene goes, it's more of people understanding that the woman whole essence or like her importance has been stripped out of history.
Yeah.
When it's the most important thing that has always been. You get what I'm saying? I feel like everything that's always been like hidden or super important, has been it's more of like we can't let this get out because if they know their strength, if they know where they come from, then they'll know the magic they have.
Yeah.
Then they're able to
they'll know the power. They'll remember who they are, why they're here. They'll remember every single thing that was forgotten. And that's when you pay attention to the story of the people who were blacked out, because we're called black people.
Right.
Because we are blacked out of history. We are blacked out of knowing who we truly are, knowing where, like, our story.
Yeah.
We were told everything. And like, all of that, it still causes, frustration because you're blacked out. You don't have no lineage. You don't have no culture. You don't have, like...
You have to go find it.
You have to go find it. It's something that's hidden.
Yeah.
So, like, this hidden light, this hidden...
the hidden secrets of gene.
Yeah.
It's more like, why would you hide something so important to us? Because I think every woman should really understand where they come from and how important it is for them to understand the essence they carry travels beyond just like, oh yeah, I'm a woman, I'm a feminine divine. No, this travels into the children that you're bearing. This travels into the people that it's like, I look at you and I think about me doing the research I did when I was pregnant with you. I read I read Metu. I read the Holy Tablets. I was deep into religion. I was deep into finding out about the whole universe and what was going on. So when I think about being a woman, I think about how important it is for us as women to embrace the divine feminine energy that we carry, which is the beginning of all, right? So I'm thinking that the more it's sad that you feel so you're kind of scared to speak up. Like, as women, we've always been scared to speak up because it's our memory. It's our epigenetic memory that has caused us to be scared of speaking, because that's what the compression is. That's what the separation is. That's what you descending into and separating shards of yourself, because everything that has happened and what history has told you is that we will crucify you if you reveal anything. If you embody your Christ consciousness, your Christos, if you have any type of activations, the history and religion, the main religion that is given to us, is telling us that you must obey. Mm-hmm. You must obey. Yeah. And we still remember that from past lives. Even though we don't have the memory of what happened in our past lives, our energy remembers that we're not safe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You trying to speak up, you trying to change, you trying to, like, we remember what happened with the temples when they fell. We remember everything that shedded us and sharded us and shattered us. And we've been underground picking up all of these pieces, understanding our roots, and now we're coming up to the surface. And that is what this whole awakening and this prophecy is of ourselves. Like, the reason why I'm bringing up Avatar and even just the reference of what happened to the blacked out people, what they call us black. It's not even a nationality. We don't have a nationality. Black people.
We don't, like, we're called black people. Yeah. But when you pay attention to the story of what happened, the black people are a microcosm of what the fall of consciousness meant.
Okay, explain that. What you mean by that?
Basically,
The fall of
The
consciousness.
fall of consciousness at the beginning of the Eve gene. Everything, this planet was in such a beautiful state, and everybody had their, activations, and all of this was just such a beautiful place to be in.
Yeah.
And then you have these, when you up, what goes up must come down. So when you have all of this information and you have all of this light and you understand the power that you hold, you want to further go deep into understanding what it means.
Yeah.
So when your consciousness is falling, when the great betrayal and everything happened, I'm just like,
it's so much.
Yeah, I'm trying to like
so many different things. There's so many layers to this whole discussion. This is why I said we're gonna have a series of it.
Yeah.
Because when you start thinking about it's the metaphysical part of it and also the spiritual side of everything, how thin the veil is and how it's become for us now, all the information that we used to have, like all the information that's been out there that we didn't have access to because technology is increasing, we're able to go and fact check some stuff.
Yeah.
And then now we're not so scared to talk about it because now you can go fact check and say, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Just like when you think about like, okay, in the beginning, we've always had an issue with the fact that in the beginning, here you go. Okay, so woman was made from the man's rib to be a helpmate. Then you wonder
that whole story was a story of a
I could have sworn
that's a lab story.
I mean,
you know that, right?
Don't
because
humans grow in the belly?
When you that's what I'm saying. The absence of the mother.
Yeah.
Of the
take that on away. We're gonna take away the fact that humans grow in the belly. We're gonna make you think that God just went and just, I'm gonna take you from the man's rib. Just taking the whole essence from the woman.
Yeah.
Again, you're deducting from what we are and how important we are, and that we carry the seed.
And they told us we cursed. Our blood is cursed.
Oh my God. What about when I was in church, and I was a churchgoer, that's why I started in church. I went to every church I could find. Like I literally went to Pentecostal, Baptist, any church I could find because I was looking for God, right? Now, me not knowing that what I was looking for was within myself and that the temple was my body, I was looking for this same information. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, so wait, this is not making sense. You telling me I was created from the rib of a man. But I could have sworn when I go in a hospital, and it confused me as a child, as a kid. You're trying to tell me, and I'm like, I know I believe in fairy tales and all that, but I'm also a fact checker. Like I'm all into science too. I've always loved science and I've always loved math. So stuff has to make sense. A plus B equals C. So when you go back and you talk about things that may have been done that was so like fairy tale-ish or even like a story that's been told to me, it still has to make sense scientifically to me.
Because it's a shard of the truth.
Yeah.
They're telling their story. They're not telling our story. It's hidden.
Yeah.
It's always been this feeling that you feel in your gut. And something not right. That doesn't make sense or it's not adding up because like why would I be cursed for, Yeah,
you cursed like what was okay. Let's just go through this right quick while we got time because I want to talk about this. How is it that, okay, and I was told this, and then a lot of people like, where you hear this at? They were like, well, when I was religious, I used to hear, hell is in the shape of a woman. Do you know how scorned I was after I heard that? Do you know how scorned I was when they made me believe that the whole world was messed up because I convinced a man to eat an apple?
Yeah.
Do you know how mentally disturbed I was as a little innocent kid? And I was made to believe that I ruined the whole world or somebody before me ruined the whole world. And that's the reason why we bleed. And that's the reason why the world is messed up. It's because you women convinced the man to go and eat an apple. You see what I'm saying? And
it's all about the programming. Well, think about what that does to your psyche.
Yeah.
It suppresses your intuition and your own power of yourself.
Yeah.
Because, like, we've already experienced the matriarchy. The patriarchy wants to be experienced.
Yeah.
And now we have all of these, like, we've seen the matriarchy, we've seen the patriarchy, we know it's falling and it's coming together. And what's coming together is the wholeness, the understanding of what the purpose is.
Yeah.
So, like, the most, like, important thing for me and what I want y'all to recognize with this podcast is coming into the wholeness of what you are.
Yeah.
And understanding that the ones who have been carrying these codes, this line that's never severed, the mother.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people forgot the mother.
Why is it that like that though? They say
You pray
with
to a man. You pray to a God
Father,
of
the
masculine
Son,
energy.
and the Holy Ghost.
You don't
That's
pray
the
to
Trinity,
your mother.
right?
You forgot about your mother because she's been hidden. And that's what that power is.
Yeah.
That's what what's been forgotten.
Yeah.
So that's what our mission is with this podcast, telling stories, telling our thoughts and our experiences and like how we have been moving through this life,
Manipulated, for real,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth. Because if I knew who I was from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have disgraced myself with the men I dealt with the decisions I've made. If I knew that I was a queen, if I knew that I was this potent and that every decision I made was going to affect the rest of my child.
Even the name, even queen. Because I talked about this earlier yesterday with you. I was saying that
Queen.
It's two ways that it's said the same way, but it's spelled a different way. So the etymology of queen is whore.
What?
Yes.
Back it up. Now you just really got me. Say it again.
The etymology of queen is whore.
Where did you get this from now? Okay, so you finna ruffle some feathers now. Cause
I think it's like QAEN. It's spelled differently, but it's said the same way. So when you even just break down like how everything was separated and twisted in a way to where they know the truth. They know what's behind all of these words and the things that they've lied about and everything. Like,
right.
And when you take it to a higher perspective, it's everything that's happened to us, the humanity.
So you
all
have
to remember who we are.
Queen in a minute. Like they gonna be like, wait a minute, hold up.
What's the etymology? When you look up the etymology of queen, it's two ways you could spell it. It's the QAEN. I think I'm not. Don't
you got your notepad on there? If you need to fact check,
let me fact check.
That's good, baby. She brought the notepad.
I did because I put it in my notes.
We've been saying that forever. We love to call ourselves queens. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean queen? I literally had that moment where I didn't want. I hate that when someone I used to wake up to people be like, "Good morning, queen. Hey, queen. Shut up, because you don't treat me like one. You don't. No, it was like, okay, yeah. I don't feel very much like a queen. When they was like, Cat Williams was talking about like him feeling like a lion. Like I don't feel like a lion. I don't really feel like a queen. I don't feel like y'all treat me like that. So. Yeah, that's interesting.
So the word queen, QUEEN, does not mean whore, but it's separated linguistic related to QUEAN. It's an architect. This word, basically from Old English, that is spelled QUEAN, means whore.
Now, why would that be so
impudent, a disreputable woman, a prostitute, a young unmarried woman or girl? It's said the same way, but it's spelled differently.
Right.
So that's
the trickery.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trickery.
I remember I was like, that, wow. And
all this fact checking I've been doing, like even with I'm in the beginning, because we just talking about the beginning right now. We just talking about the fact that we were like thrown into this, oh, you got the scarlet letter, y'all have a period every month, that's your curse, and things like that. I did not tell y'all that. Like, I remember when that was told to me, because I grew up in a very religious home. And when I was told that the reason why I have a period every month is because it was a curse for me to bear pain, to have children, because a woman convinced a man in the beginning of time to eat an apple. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would God punish every woman on earth from something somebody else did? It didn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a fresh new baby on earth, here to enjoy this experience, and I come in with a scarlet letter and I didn't even do anything. It never made sense to me.
You're exposed to that, your decision to, okay, I'm going to accept this into myself because this is what I'm being told. This is what my environment is telling me.
Right.
So I'm going to lock codes inside of myself that I don't yet understand, but it's activated, but I'm going to lock it down because it's not safe right now.
Right.
And then years later, you have all of these different things coming up, these spiritual gifts, this knowing of your royalness, you know, of who you are.
And you still got to second guess it.
Because you buried it.
Yeah.
But when, like, you can't, this is the thing with being absent of the mother in the story.
Yeah.
Being absent of even praying to the mother and praying to the one who birthed you, the earth, your mother.
Just Father, Son, Holy Ghost, that's it.
You know?
No mother. What happened to mom? Mom just gonna get ripped out of him. No, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And nothing against anybody that's religious, y'all. We not trying to make y'all, we shaking the table a little bit.
Yeah.
But we not trying to like make y'all feel some type of way. We just really want to discuss the things that nobody else is discussing, that everybody else is scared to discuss. Like things that I have always wondered are things that really made me uncomfortable as a woman coming up. Even as like a teenager, I felt like the scar, like I was beneath people. And then also feeling like you're beneath men. I'm like, okay, I thought for a minute that we were equal. And then I was like, okay, no, you're under the man. And I'm like, okay, so where's my position? Because it seems like when I look up, most of the women are by themselves. So how is it that I'm under or anywhere when we're at a point where we're equal and we're equal now? And then you also have to think about it like this. This is another thing that really, really got me. Because we're talking about the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
When you start thinking about the fact that before you become a man in the mom's womb, you're actually a female.
Yeah.
Come on now.
This is what I'm saying. You are being told to ignore everything that life, existence is telling you. Who's giving life? Who's bringing the life here?
Yeah.
Woman. What are you when you're in the womb? You're a female.
You're a female.
You first start off as a female.
Yeah.
You don't start off as a man.
Yeah, you don't start off as a man, right? So
like
none of this is making sense.
This is what I'm saying, and that's what's been the story of our. Like we know, like it doesn't make sense, but we just gonna continue to listen to it because there's a veil over our eyes.
Yeah,
you know, like.
I think my moment of clarity came for me when I had when I got pregnant with you, because you're my firstborn. When I got pregnant with you, I told myself, I was doing research on classical music being played in the womb. And I told myself, I said, I'm going to try to give this child the go. Like every go I can give her, I'm going to try to give it to her. Because I didn't get the luxury of being breastfed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though that's something that I feel like every woman should be doing.
Why wouldn't, like, even that?
Yeah. But I just felt like I'm going to try this out and I'm going to do something different and I'm going to see how it works. I'm pretty sure that when I did put the classical music, like back then we had the wire headphones where it stretched, you know what I mean? And I would put it over my stomach and I would actually read with you. And that's something I noticed, that everything I did, it seemed like it came out of you. As I noticed you growing up and getting older and older, I realized that you were exactly how I was and how I thought when I was pregnant. You're intellectual, you're into books. I was very outspoken when I was pregnant with you. Like I was outspoken.
Because every child comes here with certain activations and a certain plan and mission and blueprint of what they came here to do.
Right.
When you're pregnant, what I've noticed with what you've told me and how your personality changed in different pregnancies.
Yeah, they did.
Like you saying that when you were pregnant with me, you were so interested in like classical music, frequencies, like spirituality. You were reading books to me. You were doing all of these different things to me.
Oh, I was
and then
like crazy.
When it came down to the next one who came, it was hot Cheetos. I want to eat everything. Oh
my God, I ate hot Cheetos like crazy. But I was very, very like dominant with her. She came out very dominant. Like, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I want.
Yeah. So like, man, it's just,
if that's so important, why wouldn't people put more emphasis on catering to the pregnant woman, knowing that this child is going to be developed based on how the thoughts of the mom?
Because there's a veil. This veil that's been over. It's like people come here and they have the veil lifted off of them, because every child that's come here, okay, like we come here, and every time y'all come here, y'all are forgetting who y'all are, and y'all not like walking the blueprint of your own self and what you came here to do. Yeah. You're being succumbed to your environment. You're going beneath the surface, and you're not like in what you really came here to do, and you're getting lost. So then now we got to send people who are stronger. Now we got to send people who, with the certain activations, with the veil, with their eyes activated to see through all of this.
And to be strong enough.
And to be strong enough to be in this environment and know that you are beyond it and rising above that.
Yeah.
So like the kids and the children who are coming down here, who are being told by the people before them that this is the way life is, this is how you move, this is what happened to women, this is why you are cursed. They're giving you and telling you every single thing, but you have this knowing, and you're being brainwashed by all of what's before you.
Yeah.
But not what's within you.
Yeah. And not just knowing that the body is the temple is very important to know from the beginning. The importance of the woman is so important from the beginning. Like, I don't understand why they did so much to bury the essence of a woman, and then get so mad when we are not walking in our feminine energy. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a groundbreaking moment for me, because I've always wanted to speak on it, but I kind of felt like, oh, the men are not going to like it. They're not going to tune in. And, oh, they're going to think I'm digging too much into this. Or they're going to say, you think you know everything. No, I'm saying, can we talk about this? Can we finally address the fact that a lot of the reasons why these kids are running around killing each other is because their moms and the dads, the mothering of what's supposed to be. You didn't condition the mom. No, you didn't condition. Dads, where are you guys? Because if you only knew, if you structured that household a little bit better by making sure the mom was nourished enough, the one that has to feed the baby. Now this woman that you guys like bring all the way down is the beginning of everything. Everything
was condensed and shattered. So nothing means deeply anything anymore. When you think about creating children, getting into a relationship, raising children, all of that, what you're seeing in the product of the environment that we see right now, and even just like how St. Louis is, just from reference from what we've seen, it's not sacred anymore. They've taken the sacredness away from what it actually means to be alive, to procreate, to raise children, to take care of a woman. All of these things that we are seeing are just shattered distortions. This is not what we're really doing. Yeah. The sacredness of who we are. And it's showing you reality, the environment, history is showing you what life is like without the mother.
Yeah.
Without you ignoring like that part of yourself. It's a disbalance.
Yeah. So every human needs to know the balance.
Yeah.
Because I imagine.
And release this veil from this shattered.
Yeah.
Everything that's just been distorted and it's not sacred anymore. Like a union, marriage, like all of these things have been twisted.
Why did they? And then you think about the Bible, like,
and it's not to find. It's not my bad. It's not to find like a villain.
Yeah.
It's for you to analyze, why did we allow this to happen?
Right.
How is this benefiting humanity? And
not pointing the finger, but we're just saying
we're not. We're not trying to demonize men. We're not trying to say like this is a podcast to speak against men or masculine energy. This is a podcast to bring everything into the wholeness and the fullness of what we really are.
Yeah.
And honoring that.
Yeah.
Honoring what we see in men, honoring what we see in women, and bringing bring everything in the full circle. Because it's been hidden mostly, but what happened in the matriarchy, Now we're seeing what happens with the patriarchy. And now we have all of this evidence and this information and some of the stuff that's been hidden, which is what this podcast is for. We're bringing it to the surface and we're bringing everything together and showing you and opening up that part of what we have been like ignoring and putting a veil over this entire time.
Yeah. Do you think the Bible was formulated? Because when you say, I think about like, okay, so there's a whole bunch of chapters. And when I think about Jesus and I think about, well, Yahshua, whoever way you guys want to pronounce this great being that came and taught everyone how to love and how to accept spirituality and things like that. When they leave out Mary Magdalene, when they left out Mary, they left out so much. They don't talk about that other side. They don't talk about how significant Mary was. I'm glad that them episodes of the Bible actually went into talking about Mary, but I'm talking about the other Mary. The Mary they tried to wipe out. There was actually someone on his side.
His wife.
His wife. Why do you think they did? Why did they pull the wife out? Why would they not talk about her?
We already know. We already know why they took away the mother. It's all for them. It's their story. This is their story. So now let's tell our story.
Yeah. Let's
tell what's been hidden, what's been pushed underneath and buried under all of this foundation that y'all have built. Every like you it's important that we stop ignoring like what we are feeling.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like everybody's walking around and just stuffing down their emotions and not regulate, and they don't have no connection with their feminine energy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of women don't have it, but
that's the purpose of it. But when you think about, when you pay attention to like what I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, what goes up must come down. If we were the first, if they're saying that the first person was a woman, right? Because it makes sense. We give birth, we give life. Who else is going to give life?
Yeah.
The first people are the first people to go in line to dissension.
And the oldest bones found.
Yeah. To drop into this realm and descend, we needed somebody to remind us of who we are. Mm-hmm. And that's what men and the patriarchy and just the fall of consciousness, all of these microcosms with what happened to women, with what happened to the blacked out community. All of it is teaching you something about the surface and what's below. Because when you like being the firstborns, you are responsible for understanding the bloodline. You have a responsibility and a spiritual connection. So like we are the first ones who walked this path of understanding the fullness and the wholeness, because they haven't walked it yet.
And we also have more rank than they want to put on. Because when you go do the research on kings and the higher people that had royal people, kings or anyone that was, the women were always the one they trusted most. And when they look and sought out a woman, a king will always marry what type of woman? A divine woman, a woman that could predict, a woman that could see past the veil, but they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the type of women that the kings look for and the type of women they married.
That's what, it's all for us to know who we are and remember who we are.
So what did you get when you went and did research about the type of men, the women that the kings married and
the original Sibyls? Because when you go to the Vatican and in that city, there's this apartment that's called, or art area that's called the Room of the Sibyls. And the Room of the Sibyls is these women who are holding these scrolls and they're telling all of these prophecies, and they're very powerful women and very, very intuitive women. And it's referenced, I think, in 1 Samuel 28, this king, this Saul, He said, find me an intuitive woman. And this chapter or whatever in the Bible is called the Witch of Endor. So this woman, this highly intuitive woman that this king sat out to talk to a prophet that's passed on. He's trying to talk to this prophet and he can't access him. Samuel.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's trying to talk to this prophet and like he can't. So he's like, let me find a intuitive woman. Show me an intuitive one. Bring her here so she can be the bridge. Because that's what we are. We are the bridge. Mm. We are the ones who feminine energy represents creativity, represents the unknown. Like, so all of these women who at the beginning, before the Bible was written, they're the ones who actually had the original information of the Bible. Mm-hmm. The original prophecies and all of these revelations and Psalms and like
That's called the reason why.
Yeah.
So the king, so you're saying
in the Bible it's showing you a king who sought out a woman, a Sibyl, an intuitive woman for information, spiritual information. They always come in
realms and things like that.
Always come into women for spiritual information. And now what's happening in these churches? They're coming to the men for spiritual information. It's always, I want to be like you. I want your energy. I want to take over what you have because you the firstborn, and I'm jealous of you, and I want what you have. So now I'm going to copy it. I'm going to distort it, and I'm going to create my own way. Mm. So, like,
is that when you talk about the king and he seeking out the women for the intuitive, like women or whatever? Is this a pattern that you notice throughout like history of most kings aligning themselves with these type of women? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you go and look in the past,
Some of these women don't even know. They don't even know that they have this power, but some of the men knew.
Yeah,
they know.
Most of them did.
Yeah. Just being next to a woman who is activated in a certain way, you're providing wealth for this man. As soon as you walk away from this man, he withering.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of women about these situations where like they were with a man and like they went all the way up. The man just like, it's like they went all the way up.
So not understanding our own power and how our energy has been leaking. Mm-hmm. And this is what this podcast is about, bringing it back together, calling back your energy. Mm-hmm. So like for y'all out there who are listening, this is our first episode. Like I just want y'all to, get to know where the blueprint of how we're going to, the trajectory of where we're going with this podcast and just bringing it all together.
Yeah.
Not in a way that's going to cause issues, not in a way that's causing hatred or frustration or anything. We're telling our story.
Yeah.
So for y'all out there, like, we are grateful and thankful for you listening and just being here with us and taking the time out because this is very, very important in our remembrance and coming together fully of who we are. Not to rise above anybody else, but to understand the wholeness.
Do you feel like you carry or any type of like gifts have been activated for you ever since you
Absolutely.
To, like your divine energy of accepting who you are?
Absolutely.
But what are the main things that you think that activated in you when you actually made peace or aligned with your full divinity, like the full like?
I was always trying to figure out like,
did you think you're speaking, like with you being more aligned with who you are now? Do you think that helped you as far as like being able to speak truthfully, like being able to speak and, because what you do when you go in and you fact check and you talk, but you did it so fierce where you didn't care what anybody thought about it. Like, like you literally went in and fact check and that's how people really just kind of gravitated to you.
My gift.
Do you think that's a gift?
Yeah, because how I'm translating, like when I look at my videos and I look at like how my mind works when I'm having all of these this information that's coming to me, not coming to me, it's inside of me, and I'm revealing it, and I'm trying to explain it in a way that makes sense. I'm like condensing it and bringing it down.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing codes and information from a higher space, and I'm bringing it down to where people can process it, see it, and not, like you're able to like take it in.
Yeah.
And being able to translate light strictly and bring it here. Mm-hmm. That's a gift.
And to be able to make it to where people can understand it a little better.
People. Yeah. I that was my first, like, my platform was my first, like, interaction with my power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So me too. I think my power kicked in more than anything. I think that I found out something. I was more than what the human came to the human eye was when I had my first experience with an angel. That was like the moment where I knew whatever I was chasing or whatever I was looking for or whatever I may have been doing, it's all coming together now. It does make sense because me going to church, me trying to find God in every church, me trying to find God in every religion, until I had my own experience with another realm of me seeing things that's not normally seen, was when I knew that there was more to life. That's when I knew I needed to dig a little bit more.
Because when you come here, you think you're alone. You think because the environment, you notice like this is not, something's wrong. This realm is not what I remember what it used to be. Mm-hmm. And like you have this feeling like I'm alone. I don't have, where's my tribe? Where's my family? The people, it's a certain feeling that you get when you're around the people you remember that hold those frequencies.
Yeah.
And that vibration.
Spiritual tribe is what I like to call people.
Yeah.
There's a spiritual tribe is what I like to say too.
So like when you have these close encounters and these experiences that are not like people couldn't fathom, couldn't understand, that's the connection. Mm-hmm. That's that love that like, okay, my existence and it being a human and being here is deeper than this surface level stuff that we are seeing right now.
Yeah.
Because we exist on so many levels and our support exists in different levels, in different spaces that other people are not aware to.
Yeah.
And you've been aware to it because you came here with certain activations. And so did our family out there, like
your tribe that we're still looking for all the time.
Yeah.
I think we do. The more awakened we are, the more we awaken, the more the truth comes out. The more we know about ourselves, the more downloads come.
Yeah.
And like you say, when we're in the house together, I'm getting downloads. I'm running to you like, yo, I just got a new download. Woo, woo. And nobody knows that's like something personal we do.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times, like, you could be in your own mode or you could be working on some stuff, and then I'll just pop up out of there and be like, yo, did you know the aliens are coming in a couple months? And you be like, wait a minute, what are you talking about, my weird? No, like, no, let me show you something. And every time I show you something and it end up happening, it's like more proof for me. I'm glad I'm able to.
Because you're a prophetess.
Yeah. The ministry part of me being able to speak things out and be able to say what I feel, or kind of, like you said, make it to where people can understand it, and then not being scared of hey, I'm over here. Can
being able to carry that.
Scared, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be scared of being able to say what I need to say or feel like I could be who I am. You know what I mean? So now I'm getting to a point where when I do have these activations or these downloads, I'll come tell somebody. I'm glad that you got me this little book too, because now I'm actually starting to write down what I see, and I can go back and I put the date on it now, because it's like now I can go back. Even in my phone, I'll go and I'll write down downloads I get, and I'll put it in my phone, and I'll be like looking at the dates, like, yeah, I predicted that, I predicted that, I predicted that. I think these gifts that come from the woman, these gifts that's been activated in a lot of the divine women, especially the 144K chosen ones, it's meant for us to actually tell people that it's okay to be you now. It's meant for us to say, hey, it's okay to be a woman. Hey, it's okay to be like you're divine.
We're trying to remind and like make people feel comfortable coming to the surface of themselves. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people are just like really down in the deep depths of themselves, and they don't know how to pull themselves out of it. And like, because of the epigenetic memory and the memory of your past lives, that and your soul remembers the lives that you experienced, the time, how many times you reincarnated, like all of these things that you're feeling inside. It's like, why would I open myself up? Why would I like embrace this, you know, when I know that this is not an environment that is embraced? The one, like right now is a beautiful time because we're the ones who are pioneering and showing them, okay, it's okay for you to come home to yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to accept your mother and remember your awareness of what you truly are. I know you've been pushed and condensed and dropped down into such a third dimensional surface level base of yourself, but you're deeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much underneath. It's okay to open up and feel and activate and allow these powers to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the goal.
That's the reason, like, you know, another reason why we created this podcast. Like, with your experience with that angel, you've had a lot of different experiences.
I had so many different experiences where I had to just have, like, I don't need any more confirmation.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get into that in further episodes of, like, you know, how many times, even though we so pushed back and there's so many veils over our eyes where we can't see, our team, our loved ones, our ancestors, our angels, the ones, like our higher self, has never left us. Yeah. Even though you're not aware of it, even though you're not aware of, like, the power that you hold, it's not gone.
Yeah, it's not gone.
You know?
I do believe that the mother of all mothers, that's why I say the Eve gene, the originals, I do believe that there's an original energy coming back to this planet, and it's giving the truth. It's coming back with more truth. We're going to know who we are. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be okay for us to be who we are. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we've been convinced for so long to just be a different way. Yeah. And, like, that's the thing where I was talking about with the avatar, because it's like, when you come to a realm and, like, you come to a planet, you gotta imagine, like, you know, they show you the astronauts. You can't breathe that air. Yeah. Even in the movie, they can't the humans, the story in the Bible, that story, you can't breathe the people can't breathe that, the Navi, the Pandora air, right? So they create these bodies and they create these, you know, abilities to breathe this air and be on this planet. And then they convince the Navi people that your AWA, your planet, your animals, your mineral, everything about you is not, it means not nothing. Right. It means nothing. Yeah. You know, forget that. Mm. They're telling you, oh, it's just a tree. Take it down, burn down the tree. I remember when I saw that scene of that tree being burnt down. Mm. It hurt me so much. Yeah. Because it's like, it's nothing to them because they don't understand it.
Yeah, superficial.
People don't understand the power, the home that we feel, the remembrance that we have inside of us of what this planet, what our bodies, what our gifts, who we are, what the sacredness of what everything means to us. Yeah. Because the veil that's been placed over us, placed over this realm, placed over the humans, trying to convince us that we're not who we are. Yeah. And now it's like we trying to get back to that state and release that trauma and work through the nervous system of what has happened to us.
And it's okay to be, this is what I want to say, because a lot of times people be like, oh, we sit in trauma too long and it's the reason why you can't get to where you need to go because you're sitting in trauma too long. No, it's important that you process what happens to you throughout your life, because we all are going through something. Like, we all are processing things, you know. Mm-hmm. As we go through things, as the planet shifts, and it's going to keep shifting and turning, as Earth is calibrating, it's going to keep calibrating, get rid of the waste and seeing what needs to stay. As we evolve as humans, we're being watched. Yeah. We're being watched. There's a higher up, there's a community of higher species of being, which y'all gonna say, because now they talking about something, oh, the aliens coming in November, whatever.
The aliens been here.
They've been here. We are the aliens. I'm gonna say that. But as this process is going, where more is being revealed, the veil is getting thinner. They're leaking more information. People are being, it's like a confirmation of things that you've already known. Like, it's almost like the vote is basically open. And with all this information being able to come out now, being able to embrace who you are is so important because you'll get lost in all the information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to make sure that people understand what the Eve gene is. The Eve gene is the original gene that was on this planet and the evolution of it in this time now. And it not just, it's just like being like a person, but it being an energy, a source.
A code.
A code, an activation code, right?
It was never severed.
Yeah.
Never. Even it was carried through the songs in the fields. Mm-hmm. It was carried through the trauma. It's still here.
Yeah.
We have not forgotten our power. We have not forgotten who we are.
Yeah.
And that shows you the resilience of the original. It's too potent.
Yeah.
You can't dilute it.
Yeah.
Even though we descended into the darkness, we cloaked ourselves in darkness. We cloaked ourselves in the trauma. We hid. Mm-hmm. Now we are in a state where we're coming up, remembering, and we are the ones, this generation, this time, in this life.
Yeah.
To make it okay to be remembering who we are.
And to make it okay to be a woman. We love y'all fellas out there. I just want to let you know, fellas, we love you, okay? We love you. And I just want to let y'all know, we have so much more to come. Awaken Wednesday. We're going to be getting more conscious, talking about all type of stuff. Like, we're going to be talking about everything. There is no topic off the table. So if you want to come in and you want to speak with us about what you may be feeling, any experiences you may have been dealing with, come in, tell us your story. We want to know about the craziest stuff happening to you, whatever may have happened. But we want to go back into appreciating who we are and also appreciating the divine feminine energy that built this planet. Mm-hmm. We want to bring that back. We want to let y'all know that we're not evil and we're not the devil and we didn't convince y'all to eat the apple. All we've done is basically opened up information channels and we've made it to where you guys could be a little more closer. Like you say, when a woman is having a baby, they're the closest to death, right? They say death walks around the table 7 times. So if we are that close and we are that close to the Most High at that moment, you think we're not getting the information and the downloads? I think we should start listening. Y'all men need to start listening to us a little bit more too. Because that's another thing. They be like, oh, well, listen to your girl. She probably picked it up before you.
It's about discernment.
It's definitely about discernment.
Like a lot of men don't have discernment in what they, with women. A lot of women don't have discernment in themselves.
Yeah.
With everything that we've gathered collectively as a human race or just being on this planet, everything that we've gathered is for discernment, for us to learn who we are.
Yeah.
If you're not able to figure out like who
you are,
what's the original, like holding that originality, then you're basically lost. You're going to succumb to the people who are lost, people who are distorted. You won't know
where you fit.
Women who are distorted, the men who are distorted. You just lost.
Well, you got anything that you want to promote before we get up out of here?
I just want to promote that you are safe out there. Everybody who is having this hidden and these feelings inside of yourself and these gifts that are awakening, you are safe and this is a safe place. Okay? And I know that it's confusing. I know that it's hard, but we are working through it. When you're not alone, we all are doing this. And if you want to find me, my social media is Real Kaya on YouTube. I upload a lot there. And my Instagram page is starring Real Kaya. And it's my first time doing all of this. So like promotion and stuff, like I don't know, like I want y'all to know, like I know it seemed, I don't know, I'm just in my head a little bit more about this being the first time, but like
let everybody know where to comment. We like the comments. We want you guys to comment. We want you guys to get involved. Make sure you comment. Make sure you email us too as well. You can email Real Eye Records music at Gmail if you're anything about music, because like Kaya does have a record label now called Real Life Records.
And I do music, y'all.
And we'll be letting you guys know about that too. Also, we got Real Life Records, so sponsor that. And our sponsors, we'll be letting y'all know. We'll be giving y'all the rest of our sponsors too, because this is our first episode. So if y'all were late to get y'all stuff in, get it in next time, because we got the next episode coming, and it's gonna be real deep. We're gonna get real all the way into the Eve Jean things, and we may have some guests coming up. So be on the lookout for the guests we're gonna be having. Be on the lookout for our topics, things we're gonna be talking about. Your music, you got some music coming out.
I got music. I got a lot of things.
What are the names of the songs that you got that you already recorded right quick?
Goddess in Me.
Goddess in Me.
Win Again.
Win Again.
And one song is called Crazy.
Crazy.
I have one song that's out right now that's called Potent.
Potent.
Ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being me. You know,
go look at all her social media. Just Google Real Kaya. You'll find her everywhere. And y'all Google Mona Lisa. But probably we're going to find Mo Lyric everywhere. It's just going to be Mo Lyric, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tuning in.
Us all. But thank you so much for watching us, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We do have a little short amount of time. But we'll be back to do another episode. We may have, if you want to be on the show, make sure y'all hit us up. Any last words you want to say before we get up out of here?
I want to say that you are safe here. Okay? That's all.
She just want to say she's safe. No, you not. You ain't safe. I'm going to eat you as soon as you come on here. No, I'm just like...
I'm talking about
what? No, I'm just
the ones who carry the Eve gene. But remember,
they know I got a sense of humor.
Everything gonna open up a little bit more. Like this is just the first episode. We wrapping it up, but yeah.
Anyway, thank y'all again for tuning in. Again, the Eve Jean Podcast, Awaken Wednesday episode. Be looking out for more, and we got more coming to y'all. Love you so much. Thank
y'all, you guys. Thank you.
The Eve Jean, baby.